हेलो हाँ हो गई तुम्हारी वो मैं गई थी तुम अगर तुम्हें दिखता तो मैं तुम्हें बोल देती देखो तो नीचे देखो ये क्लिप पे हम खड़े हैं क्लिप वो है वो देखो क्लिप हाँ ये नीचे का दिख रहा है ना ये पूरी वैली है ये देखो ये क्लिप दिख रहा है हाँ पता नहीं खा लिया ना आप दिख गया धीरे धीरे चलता क्यों खुलेगा
चढ़ने में खुल सकता है ना
सीढ़ी पे नहीं जाना वो जो सीढ़ी वाले ये ना ये देखो पेड़我是被姐姐的没有，我是这里。
我们来看一下，这边呢就是当时挖煤的一个工具啊。这个工具呢，在1898年就不使用了啊。1898年的时候呢，就是来我们小心带上啊。1898年的时候啊，大家要想一下，100多年前啊，当时。游客院区的啊，也展示大家煤放有多啊。大家可能看到这个表面上全部只是石头，对吧？对，很大。这边的话呢
其实这个蓝山区煤矿是很大。
这边的话呢
其实西南威尔士州啊，北边是有很大的煤矿区的。
这一个都没。
咱们现在南边、北边。也有很大的煤矿，只是在西营的北边了。
来，我们右手边这边呢也是个矿坑啊，大家来看一下，这个矿坑呢，它在1878年就我们那个上面，这刚刚做的上面，然后把它是预装好了之后的话，在上面没有动力的，还是最早还用牛车牛或者马上面拉，后来我们
because it's then being passed on to table by the local council. Now when we come up to this big metal tower, I'm just going to go for a little bit of a swing. So, here we go.
撑起来了然后为了碎石的话呢还有一个直接把这些往住了，里面的话呢其实全部都是就这样如果说大家也可以想一下澳大利亚这个国家人有多少人？这边的是一张老照片一张老照片。
Head out to stop number 11. in your ticket and guidebook. As we make our way up here through the trees to our left, you'll see Menai, Wimala and Gunnydew, the three sisters over at Echo Point, standing on the edge of the valley over there. As the stories go, they are waiting patiently for their father, Tyre One, to return from down in the valley and turn them back into real girls again with his magic bone. He turned his three daughters into stone temporarily in the stories to keep them out of harm's way. In some of the stories there was enemy warriors that were going to kidnap them. All sorts of stories. Out in front of us in the valley there's a rather large rocky mountain outcrop out there. That is Mount Solitary. Got its name Mount Solitary because it's standing alone. It's not connected with this part of the mountains that we're on, but it's all part of the Blue Mountains. Menai, Wimala and Gunnydew to our left, Mount Solitary out there in front. In the valley down to our left here, there is a hill with another rock formation perched on top in there. That rock formation is known as the ruined castle. It just resembles a castle that's crumbling away or falling down. Over to the left of us, the headland running to the south, that's Narrow Neck. Narrow Neck divides the Jamison Valley on this side from the next valley over to the west, which is the Megalong Valley. We'll get a bit of a look out into the Megalong Valley as we make our way out here. The Jamison Valley, though, to our left, that's totally uninhabited. Nobody lives in the Jamison Valley. You've got to go nearly 100 kilometres to the south to get to another town. That's down around Mittagong, Bowral, Mossvale area in the Southern Highlands. Just to our left here, there used to be a huge imposing rock formation. There it was known as Dogface Rock. Looked like the outline of it was here. Back in 1931, the Dogface Rock formation collapsed down into the valley. Millions of tons of rock just fell down. It's definitely been the biggest landslide in the mountains in the last 100 years. There's very sheer sandstone cliff face in there where the Dogface Rock formation used to be. But we'll see that as we pull into stop number 11. Just press one of the stop buttons if you didn't want to hop out. That's stop number 11 to do any of the cliff top walks starting there.
Fine, thank you. I'm not thinking about it too much, thank you.
Drinking water. As you're up on that glass floor, 270 metres to the valley floor, and out the left-hand side here, Jamison Valley, Mount Solitary in the middle. You can see a few sulphur-crested cockatoos just flying around the ether, which gives you a bit of an idea of how high up we are. And you've got the stairs.
Doors are closing. Thank you. Doors are closing. Here we go.
Trust me.
Happy days. Thank you. Good afternoon.
welcome aboard the Skyway. My name is Shannon. I'm your driver taking you across the valley today. Now feel free to move around to check out all the views from all four sides. First view I'm going to point out is actually in the middle on that glass floor. Look down right about... Now, there it is. It has gone clear. Now on the right-hand side, we're getting a nice view of the Jamison Valley. Jamison Valley stretches 6 kilometers away to that large sandstone plateau. That is Mount Solitary. Now Mount Solitary is 6 kilometers wide and its entire circumference is 2 times the size of Uluru. In the front right corner, we have the iconic Three Sisters. 3 sandstone pillars that were formed roughly 14 million years ago due to erosion. Now this entire valley was formed due to erosion. At some point it was a giant lake. It's taken millions and millions of years for it to become what it is now. Now if you're on that glass floor, have a look down again. We're getting ready to go over our highest point of our journey. We are 270 meters above that valley floor. That's the same height as the Sydney Harbour Bridge if you times that by 2. So 2 Sydney Harbour Bridges stacked on top of each other. That's how high we are. Coming up on the left-hand side in that front left corner, you're going to have a nice view of Katoomba Falls, which is one of our tallest waterfalls that we have here in the mountains. It stands 228 meters above that valley floor. Now along the cliffs on the left-hand side, it's part of the Prince Henry Cliff Walk. It's a lovely walk. It stretches 19 kilometers from Scenic Road all the way down to Wentworth Falls. However, you can walk part of it today if you feel like it. It takes you about 20 minutes to get back to Scenic Road along that cliff walk. Now my friends, if you want to go for a walk today, you'll loop around the building, head down the stairs on the left where those people are standing. Once you get to the bottom, if you turn left, it's a short walk to a lookout view of the valley. If you turn right, it's a 7-minute walk to the waterfall. Highly recommend going for a little walk, checking out the waterfall. 7-minute walk there, 7-minute walk back, or another 15 all the way back to Scenic World. If you're meeting your tour guide over here, or catching the 686G or hop on, hop off bus.
Using ballast for the highway line right up until the early part of the 1900s. Katoomba wasn't a town in the 1860s. Didn't become a town until the 1880s. So the area was just referred to as the Crosses because of the rock quarry. In 1881, Harry Roll was the very wealthy hotelier. He built the
उधर बैठो ना थोड़ा, यहाँ खाना भी इधर आओ।
ये है वाटरफॉल। देखते चलो ना, मैं थोड़ी देर बैग पकड़ लेती हूँ। ट्रॉली वाला बैग लाना चाहिए। ट्रॉली वाला वो ठीक रहता।
Waterfalls out to the right hand side. There you go. Katoomba Waterfalls, they've never run dry in recorded history. Built by a hanging swamp.
They're plateaus. And the Blue Mountains is about the only mountain range in the world that doesn't have a valley going all the way through from one side of the mountains to the other. A river valley usually runs right through. So the valleys around the Blue Mountains, they all end very abruptly at sheer sandstone cliff faces. So they're not open-ended, they're actually canyons. So plateaus and canyons, really the Blue Mountains. One thing that is noticeable out here on the clifftop areas is the modern houses compared to the houses back in closer to the town. These houses, they're actually built out of far more fire-resistant materials than the older houses. The older houses were generally all timber slab, weatherboard houses. These houses have replaced them over time. It is a high-risk bushfire area on the cliff tops. The fire's not all bad. Fire is a vital part of the makeup of the mountains. It's particularly important for the natural bushland, because the natural bushland regenerates by fire. The native trees and plants, they drop seed pods onto the ground. Those seed pods, they lie dormant, sit and wait for up to 10 years before they die off for a fire to come through. When the fire does come through, the heat from the fire, it cracks the seed pods open, the shoots emerge. Then you get new trees and plants like these ones here to our left. That's the natural style of vegetation there. So you've got small mountain beetle type shrubs, it's ferns, lemon tea tree, wattle, banksia type plants like the bottlebrush. Over the top of everything is the gum trees. The gum trees, they're all part of the eucalypt family of trees. The Blue Mountains is the only known area in the world where all species of eucalypt trees grow. Now,
Jamison Valley. On the train comes to a stop, we'll open up those doors over the left-hand side, and does the next of the train to the left. So head up those stairs, go across the bridge, keep going direct if you're on the terminal boardwalk towards our Candlelight. First set of stairs will take you to the railway entrance, and the second set of stairs after the bridge will take you down to our 30 and out 50 boardwalks. Doors opening over the left-hand side, please mind your hands, take all of your belongings with you. Enjoy this beautiful part of the world.
Just coming up on the left-hand side as well, we've got Orphan Rock. That's the one all on its own there. It's got the railings on the top. It's got a hole in the middle, lots of cracks, looks pretty unstable. Orphan Rock did used to be one of the main attractions of the mountains. It was closed in the mid-70s due to a mudslide taking out the access, but the railings and you'll see the stairway on the side still remain as well. If you are looking over the left-hand side to the left, that's the Three Sisters there. Honeymoon Bridge connecting the first sister to the mainland. Okay, just as we're docking here, we might get a bit of a bump, so be prepared for that. As we are docking to the left-hand side, the red you can see, that's the entrance to the scenic railway. That's accessible from...
Yeah, have a look at the carts.
这边呢就是矿工之一，1890年，它就不挖了，就不挖了。1890年开始，这边所有来自。
So they may not have still on like that taking them down the railroad. Unless they covered them somehow.
हाँ तो सही नहीं वो जाएंगे ये इसी से जाएंगे अरे नहीं उस पर बहुत बैठ कर हाँ
उनको जाने की पड़ी हुई है
In this area, just through the little gateway here to our left.
All good? Yep.
Side of Narrow Neck now. That's the Megalong Valley. Megalong Valley is different to the Jamison Valley because people live in the Megalong Valley. down in the valley. Bit of cattle grazing and sheep farming. You can do horse trail rides, ideal country for horses and that. There's a couple of vineyards in the valley, the Dry Ridge Estate and the Megalong Creek Estate. Stop number 12 in your ticket and guidebook next up. That's the Devil's Hole. The Devil's Hole itself is a rock formation. It creates a circular opening in the side of the cliff area. It's a beautiful view through that into the valley, but it is not an easy walk by any means. It's a very difficult area to get into down to the Devil's Hole. Nonetheless, press one of the stop buttons if you did want to hop out. If you have a look at Arrow Neck to our left over there, you can see the exposed rock cliff faces around the top. It is like that down to our left hand side here on this ridge that we're driving on. Exposed rock cliff faces. Megalong, the name of the valley, it's not an English name. It's the Gundungurra and Darug people's name for the area, and Megalong means the area under rock. So they're referring to the valley lying beneath the exposed rock cliff faces around the top. Now we're just coming out to Carl's Lookout out here, stop number 13. It's an easy walk down to the lookout there, great view. At the top of the ridge here we get a nice view looking over the Megalong Valley here in a southwesterly direction. And to the back of the valley over there is two separate mountain ranges. It's the Blue Mountains again behind the valley. But behind the Blue Mountains over there is the Great Dividing Range. It's the mountain range running the full length of the eastern side of the maintaining the road, improving the road. In the 1860s, the railway engineer John Whitney engineered the Great Western Railway line over there. So that was an amazing engineering feat. In the horse-drawn coach days, it used to take you a minimum of 9 days to get up here in the mountains from Sydney. But in the 1860s, when the railway line opened, you could get on a steam train in the morning and you could be in the mountains the same day. So that was a quantum leap forward. Yeah. Stop number 10, which is for Scenic World. Scenic World is the main complex, the home base if you like, for the 3-ride attraction in the South Valley area here. You've got the suspended cable car ride, the Scenic Skyway, that is traversing the South Valley to our left. It's one of the world's steepest incline passenger railways operating from Scenic World. That takes you down into a beautiful, very ancient temperate rainforest area down at the valley below. Beautiful area down in there. There's a boardwalk around the valley, and that'll lead you around to the bottom platform for the scenic cableway. The scenic cableway is another suspended cable car ride. It skirts the treetop level in and out of the valley. None of this would be here if it wasn't for the earlier mining days down in the valley. They used to mine shale and coal. In fact, if you go around the boardwalk, there's the history of the old mining days on display, as well as some sculpture work of a pit pony and a miner, life-size sculptures down there. And you've got the history of the old mining days. When Scenic World started out in 1950, Harry Hammond, who started Scenic World, he'd gained the use of
Welcome aboard the Cableway, friends. My name's Aiden. I'm going to be your driver, taking you all the way up to Scenic World's main station, which does mean I need to get you above a 200-meter cliff. So if you're afraid of heights, feel free to hold on to my handrail. It won't make too much of a difference if something goes wrong anyway. Once we break you above the canopy of our rainforest, if you want to go see Katoomba Falls, it's at the front right-hand side of our cabin. So if you want to go see that waterfall, it's visible for 30 seconds of our trip up the hill. To make the most of that, as your 30 seconds did start 11 seconds ago. If you're here to see the Three Sisters today, look to your east. If you don't know which direction that is, that's your right-hand side. If you still don't know which way that is, ask someone nearby. And you'll find them up on top of that escarpment where they've been for the past 14 million years. The Three Sisters are made up of the same kind of stones as what we can find over on our left-hand side, which is predominantly sandstone with a bit of clay and ironstone layers mixed into them as well. They're just laid slightly differently, as all the rocks around us are sedimentary stone, which means that at one point this whole place used to be underwater, just capturing a whole heap of sediment, and it was packed together over millions of years before the continent of Australia moved over a bit of volcanic activity and this massive sandstone plateau was pushed out of the ground. Which is why the top of our cliffs measures at about 22 million years old, but down in our valley we've actually got rocks that are 660 million years old by our best carbon dating estimates. Just over on our right hand side we're going to come past Orphan Rock. That's an old lookout that was unfortunately condemned.
Chưa ai ạ?
Yes. Cả đó. Ê à. Tiêu lại sao? Đi lao đấy dậy.